Want to grow your own juicy, antioxidant-packed blackberries right at home? No chemicals, just nature doing its thing? In this video, I'll show you how to grow blackberries from start to harvest the mad scientist organic grower way, plus the insane health benefits no one's talking about. We're talking about turning your backyard into a berry bonanza, people. Imagine stepping outside and grabbing handfuls of fresh blackberries, still warm from the sun. We're gonna make that happen using science and some seriously cool organic tricks. Welcome back to where we mix science, soil, and a little madness to grow potent food and medicine. If you love growing things that heal your body and blow your mind, hit that like button and let's get to it. Alright, first things first, we gotta pick our berry-producing champion. You've got options here: erect thorny, thornless, and trailing varieties. Now I'm going with a variety called This Season. Why? Because it's thornless, a total space saver, and pumps out berries like nobody's business. Plus, it's got that classic blackberry flavor that's off the charts. But hey, you do you. Choose a variety that vibes with your style and your garden space. Remember, picking the right blackberry variety is like choosing your fighter for a botanical battle royale. Blackberries are like little sun worshippers. They soak up those rays to fuel their berry-making superpowers. So, when you're scoping out the perfect spot in your garden, think bright, sunny, and full of good vibes. We're talking at least 6 to 8 hours of direct sunlight each day for maximum berryliciousness. Now let's talk dirt. Blackberries dig slightly acidic soil, somewhere in that sweet spot of 5.5 to 7 on the pH scale. Don't worry, testing your soil is easier than you think. You can grab a simple soil test kit online or at your local garden center. Once you've got your soil's pH dialed in, it's time to give it the royal treatment. Mix in some good quality compost. Think of it like a gourmet buffet for your blackberry plants. This will add essential nutrients, improve drainage, and create the perfect environment for those berry-producing roots to spread out and do their thing. Okay, mad scientists, it's time to get those blackberry babies in the ground. Late winter or early spring is the name of the game here. The soil is still cool and moist, giving those roots plenty of time to get comfy before the summer heat kicks in. Now, when it comes to digging the hole for your blackberry plant, bigger is always better. You want a hole that's about twice as wide and just as deep as the root ball. Gently remove the plant from its container and don't be afraid to loosen up those roots a bit. Place the plant in the hole, making sure the crown, that's where the roots meet the stem, is level with the soil surface. Backfill the hole with that beautifully amended soil you prepared earlier, tamping it down gently to eliminate any air pockets. Now for the grand finale, give your newly planted blackberry a good long drink of water. Alright, now that our blackberry buddies are settled in, let's talk about support, specifically whether or not you need to build a trellis. Think of a trellis like a personal jungle gym for your berry vines. If you're growing a trailing variety, a trellis is non-negotiable. These guys love to climb and sprawl, and a trellis gives them the perfect structure to do their thing. Plus, it keeps those berries off the ground and makes harvesting a breeze. Erect varieties, on the other hand, are a bit more independent. They can stand upright on their own, but even they benefit from a little support. Staking them up helps prevent them from flopping over under the weight of all those juicy berries. Okay, let's talk about keeping those blackberry plants hydrated and happy. Blackberries like their soil consistently moist but not waterlogged. Think of it like a damp sponge, not a sopping wet one. The best way to water blackberries is with a good, deep soaking once or twice a week, depending on your climate. Stick your finger into the soil. If it feels dry an inch or two down, it's time to give those plants a drink. Now, to keep that moisture locked in and those weeds at bay, we're gonna add a layer of mulch. I like to use a mix of wood chips and pine needles, but you can use whatever organic material you have on hand. Aim for a layer of mulch that's about 2 to 4 inches deep. Alright, just like any mad scientist worth their salt, we gotta feed our little berry-producing experiments. But instead of bubbling beakers and mysterious concoctions, we're using good old-fashioned organic fertilizer. Now, blackberries aren't super heavy feeders, but they do appreciate a little boost in early spring when they're just starting to wake up from their winter slumber. Look for a balanced organic fertilizer with an NPK ratio of around 10-10-10. When it comes to fertilizing, less is more. Over-fertilizing can lead to excessive leaf growth and fewer berries, and nobody wants that. Sprinkle the fertilizer around the drip line of the plant. After you've applied the fertilizer, give your plants a nice deep watering to help those nutrients soak in. Chapter 7. Pruning Power, Shaping Your Berry Empire. Alright, mad scientists, it's time to grab your pruning shears and channel your inner Edward Scissorhands. Pruning is essential for maintaining healthy, productive blackberry plants. The first major pruning session happens after your blackberries have finished fruiting. Don't be shy, cut those spent canes, the ones that produced berries, all the way down to the ground. These canes are donezzo, and removing them allows the plant to focus its energy on growing new productive canes. In the spring, it's time for a little thinning out. Select 4 to 6 of the strongest, healthiest canes and remove the rest. Finally, shorten the side shoots on the remaining canes to about 12 to 18 inches long. Okay, even in the most well-tended mad scientist garden, pests and diseases can pop up from time to time. But don't worry, we've got this. The key is to be vigilant and take action at the first sign of trouble. One of the most common pests you'll encounter is aphids, tiny sap-sucking insects that can weaken your plants. But fear not, neem oil to the rescue. This natural insecticide disrupts their life cycle and sends them packing. Another thing to watch out for is powdery mildew, a fungal disease that looks exactly like it sounds. A white powdery coating on the leaves. Alright, mad scientists, the moment we've all been waiting for, harvest time. Mid to late summer is when those blackberries will start to ripen and reach peak deliciousness. You'll know they're ready when they're plump, deeply colored, and practically fall off the vine with a gentle tug. Oh, and here's a pro tip, wear dark clothes when you're harvesting blackberries. Trust me, those stains are no joke. Unless, of course, you're going for that, I just spent the day picking fresh berries look. Blackberries are incredibly versatile, and you'll want to save some for smoothies, jams, pies, or even just freezing for later. Congratulations, mad scientists, you've successfully grown your own organic blackberries. Now, let's talk about how to store and enjoy this bounty of berryliciousness. Fresh blackberries are best enjoyed within a few days of harvesting. Store them in a single layer in the refrigerator to prevent them from getting crushed. But let's be real, those berries probably won't last that long. If you find yourself with an abundance of blackberries, freezing is a great option. Simply spread them out on a baking sheet lined with parchment paper and freeze them until solid. Once they're frozen, you can transfer them to a freezer-safe container or bag for long-term storage. Grow your own medicine, grow your own food, and let nature do the heavy lifting. Just give it a little nudge from your inner mad scientist. If this helped you out, smash that like button, share with your garden gang, and don't forget to subscribe for more weirdly effective growing guides. Drop a comment if you're growing berries this season or if you've got a secret blackberry tip.